What's up, guys? Got a little update here. My Mazda's been down for a little bit. I know some people know I've been converting over to that CAS system at compressed air supercharging. I've been talking to those guys for a little while. Finally bit the bullet a while back, got all the stuff, but been pretty busy, so it's been a slow process getting it on there. But got it on there. It's about 99% done. There's one of my bottles. The other bottle will mount here. Pay no attention to the super bad wiring mess. I've been adding stuff. I plan to completely redo this car this winter and get everything back right. But got one bottle here. The other bottle's not in there yet. Then you have this fancy rig here. This is the regulator. This is kind of the main brains behind making the system work. Like I said, I'm not completely through with the install. About the only thing I've got left is this is where you fill the bottles at. And I've got a line that runs to the other side of the car with a quick connect when I open up the door. But the line I ordered the other day was the wrong type of line. So you have that. And it drops the pressure down through these two 20 AN lines, which go over here to these two big shutoff valves. So that's the main on-off valve that lets it start flowing. So that's kind of, as soon as you activate it, you turn those on. I'm doing my stuff a little bit different than some others on there, or at least that's what I'm gonna try. That's my Wild Zoomies. They're not completely done. I got to fit them to the hood and trim them down where they're flush to the hood. But for right now, I'm going to try to crank it with them like that. This is the big valve that when the system activates, it shuts off all outside airflow to where the engine is only running on the CAS system. Now I'm going to be trying to control mine with these two electronic valves here. They're basically electronic throttle bodies. They're small. I think they're 40 or 50 millimeter on the inside. They're really small. I think they're actually used on a side-by-side of Polaris or something. So my way to control it is going to be attempting to control it with just these. So I'll activate the system and it'll fire off, and it'll probably apply a little over 100 pounds of pressure, 130 pounds maybe of pressure to these 20 AN lines. And then I'm going to variably control the flow with these two valves here. So hoping that works. But anyway, I think everything is ready to actually crank the engine. So that's what I'm wanting to do now. I did change the engine over from methanol to E85. So I dropped down to a lot smaller fuel tank. I think this is 1.5 gallon or 2 gallon fuel tank. So just filled it up with E85. I took my big cam drive pump off and put my smaller one on there because no sense in running one way too big. And luckily I don't have to do anything on the injectors. I was running two set of the Deca 220s. So I'm basically just running on one set. So nothing has to be changed there. So I think it'll crank. I have not cranked it yet at all. I just got this Zoomie finished today. That was the only thing I was waiting on to try to crank it. So really curious on how obnoxiously loud it is. And I normally do not even like a loud car. That's why I've liked turbos over the years, but now I kind of just want to be loud. So Ryan Mitchell said these are loud, so I'm gonna find out. So anyway, I'm fixing to set the camera up, and like it may not even crank at all, but we're fixing to find out. If it cranks up, we'll get to hear just how loud and nasty it sounds together. Don't hold your breath because it may not crank. Maybe my 85 tuned up isn't close enough. All right, here goes nothing. Well, look at there, it did crank. Although I got to figure something out. Good gracious, I hope y'all can even see that. There's a web of some type on my lens. I don't know if y'all got to see that or not. But the only thing I got to figure out, I'm not getting a good AFR signal. I put one sensor here. I don't know if it's reverting oxygen back in there or not, but I don't think that was reading right. But anyway, it did run. Yay.